Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching. I'm Courtney, owner and designer of Wreath in Hand. Today we are making two beautiful spring wreaths. We have first up a pink ranunculus wreath. The second one is a blue peony wreath. Be sure to stay and check out both of them. I will have all the products listed in the description for you. Be sure to like this video, share it, and save it for future reference. To get started on the first wreath, I'm first cutting up pieces off of a fern leaf. I got those at Craft Outlet, or you can get them at creekroad.net. I used two of them. These next ones I believe are called maiden hairs. I'm not really sure, but they kind of look like it. I got these at Hobby Lobby. Be sure to check out Hobby Lobby's florals if you're going to buy them every other week, because they do go on sale. They alternate sale prices, so make sure you're doing that so you get a better deal on them. So here I am just cutting up that second stem, and I'm just cutting it up to where I can have a long enough stem. These ones, I'm not sure what they're called, but I got them at Hobby Lobby. I left the SKU number in the description so you can try to find it. These ones we call push pops because you can push up on the stems. So I'm doing that so I can get a longer stem on them. You don't have to do that, but I do like to do that. Later on, I'm also going to be gluing some of the pieces like where I cut them, just because sometimes the stem is a little bit loose. So I'll show you when I do that. But anyways, here I am just gluing in those fern leaves, and I'm going more on the inside and then outside, and I'm trying to fluff them outwards and up a little bit so they pucker a little. I'm not going to try to fill up the whole wreath with this because we are using a lot of greenery. So I'm just going every couple of inches and really making sure I'm getting into the grapevine. You do want to use a really good hot glue. The best one is Gorilla Hot Glue. Now up at the top, I am changing the direction of how I'm inserting the leaves. So instead of going from the bottom up, I'm going from the top down, just because, you know, it helps make a better, it flows better. It just looks better that way. So I'm also adding some on the sides, and yeah, just adding lots of hot glue in there. Next, we are going to be making our bow. This 1.5 inch ribbon I got from 5th Street Studio, and I am going to be making I'm not sure what kind of bow you call this, but it has a really long, it has a short tail at the bottom, but then it has, you know, like that poof look. It kind of looks like a rainbow, so I'm not really sure what you call it. I eyeballed it, so I believe it was around 30 inches. I'm not really sure. I didn't measure it. I eyeballed it, but looking at it compared to my mat, I want to say it was around 30 inches. Now for the loops, my first loop is 6.5 inches, and when I put it into the Easy Bow Maker and I get to the other side, I am twisting it, and then I'm gonna make another loop at 6.5 inches. And then for the tail that's going up, I believe I did like a 5-inch loop, or not a loop, I'm sorry, just a tail length. And I'm gonna dovetail it to give it a nice clean look. You can also angle it if you'd like. That would look cute also. But I really love this ribbon. I think it's so pretty for spring. And also, side note, I don't recommend using rubber bands. I used to use rubber bands to hold my ribbons together, and they pop off, and not in a good way, kind of pop off. So I use pins for that. And this next ribbon, I believe, is a 7/8 inch ribbon, and I listed in the description of where I got it from. So this one's a really beautiful It's a Dupioni, so it's kind of like a satiny material. And for this one, I'm making the same tail length, so they're going to be layered on top of each other. This can be a little bit challenging, layering the ribbons on top of each other. But you know, with practice, it gets a little bit easier. Just be patient with yourself and you'll get there. So for this loop, I'm making a 6-inch loop, one on each side. And I'm also going to be making the tail just a teeny tiny bit shorter than the top one. And then I'm also going to add a center loop. You can make the center loop as big as you want, but I just did a tiny one, so I believe it was like 2 inches right there. So once you make your center loop, then you can push the tail to the top. And this one, I'm not going to dovetail, I am just going to angle it. Now I'm going to be using 2 zip ties to attach them down. So first I'm going to add the first zip tie, but I am not going to tighten it all the way down. I'm going to make sure it's held together, but enough room where I can slip the second zip tie in there. And then once I have the second one in there, then I'll just adjust my ribbon to make sure everything's where I want it. I can do some fluffing right here and fix anything if I need to. Sometimes when I'm trying to attach down my ribbon, somehow my bows always slip. I don't know. I just can never get it to stay straight. But anyways, I'm gonna tighten that down and then cut off the zip tie, the part we're not using. So now I'm gonna go ahead and attach the bow with the zip tie. So you're gonna snake it down through the wreath from the top and then go through the bottom. You can also use brown chenille stems. I didn't have any and I didn't want to use like a bright colored one, so I just did the zip tie in the for this, but chenille stems will work just fine. And then you want to make sure you cut off that zip tie and you know, make sure it's attached down how you want it. Here I'm going to be fluffing and rearranging. I did want the bow kind of angled a little bit, so that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to position it, and I'm going to be arcing that tail here, that rainbow effect that I was talking about. So I'm just trying to smooth them over together, center it, and then for this one I'm going to position it where I want it. Now you can make this arc as big or as small as you want. I was just kind of eyeballing it, and then I am using another zip tie again. I'm going to slip it under and then come in through the top, and I'm just going to zip tie it from the top this time. I'm not using 2 on it. And then I'm just going to adjust the ribbons before I tighten it down. And once I have all the ribbons situated the way that I want to, I will tighten that zip tie. And I'll just keep adjusting it. I am trying to push the zip tie a little bit over. Now I'm going to go in with my second greenery, the maidenhair one. I believe it's maidenhair. I don't know. But it's really pretty. And again, I'm just going to go inside, outside. I am adding a lot of hot glue just to make sure it's really secure. And then I'm also fluffing this out. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you're having a really wonderful day. I'm so excited that you are here watching my videos. I really appreciate the support, and if my videos are helpful for you in any way, let me know. I really appreciate it. And if in any way it inspires you, or if there was a tip I gave you, or maybe you just like watching people create things, let me know. I would really love to hear that. I am still learning myself, but I also like to share things that I've learned, and maybe it will help you. So again, I'm just going in on the inside and on the outside, and this will help start to fill in a lot of the gaps of the grapevine. And if some of them are not laying right, you know, if the glue dries, that's okay. You can always cut the stem out and re-glue it. But if it's not in the right spot, just move it. It's okay. You know, sometimes we think it looks good and then, you know, we're like, oh, no, doesn't look right. So I'm just going to keep on gluing those in. I do have this wreath currently listed in my Etsy shop. If maybe you're not really interested in making this wreath, or if you just, you know, would rather support my business, that's perfectly amazing, and I would absolutely love that so very much. I mean, you watching my video is enough of supporting me, and I really appreciate that. But if this is just something you know, you're like, I'd rather buy it, check out my Etsy shop. I have this available right now. This wreath I think is really perfect for so many reasons, obviously because it's a beautiful, but I think it's a really good transitional wreath. So, you know, I think I was a little late making it for Valentine's Day, but this would totally work for Valentine's Day. I mean, pink, ranunculus, like absolutely perfect for Valentine's Day. So you could do that for Valentine's Day. It would head into spring, Easter, summer. And you know what? If you are just a pink girly, leave it up all year long. So here I am cutting the ranunculus. These are really a beautiful pink one. And I listed in the description where I got these from. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I did list it for you in the description. I am going to be using all of them on the head. So I am cutting a long enough stem because I don't want to sink them into the grapevine. So I like to pre-lay out where I'm going to be putting them. So that's what I'm doing. I'm pre-laying out before I glue. So I'm just going to be doing that. I try to scatter them so they're not like sitting right on top of each other. I mean, I think that's okay too. You know, it just depends on the kind of look you're going for. You know, this wreath definitely gives cottagecore, coquette. It's giving lots of really beautiful girly vibes, and I love it. So I'm gonna keep adding those in there. I am gonna be adjusting them quite a bit because, you know, I just want to make sure they're where I want them, and then sometimes they get a little caught up on the greenery. So once I have them all laid out where I want them, instead of taking them out and gluing them, I'm going to do my best to go in and just glue them into place instead of taking them out. This can be a little bit challenging because the greenery is in the way, the ribbon's in the way, but I feel like this is a better way of doing it because sometimes when you take the stem out, once you've like prearranged it, at least for me, I kind of forget where I put it or which, like how I got it into the grapevine. So I am going in there and I put a lot of hot glue, and you know, once it dries down, I will go back to check to make sure they all are glued in. And it was funny when I was making this, I realized that when I went back and checked them, I forgot a whole stem. I didn't even glue one of them down. So that's why you always got to go back and check it because, you know, sometimes you miss one. Next, I'm gluing down those push pop leaves. These are the ones that I got at Hobby Lobby. These ones have a little bit more of a wispiness. These ones are a little more dainty, but they really fill in the rest of those gaps there. So I really like these. So I'm going to go in and I'm not adding them in the same pattern as I did the other ones where I go in and out. These ones I am doing more where I see gaps. So that's why I chose these ones to be more towards the end so they could fill in whatever bare spots there are. And I do try to save a couple pieces just in case, you know, there's some weird gaps that I missed. I can go back and fill those in. So I'm going to be going in there and just fluffing everything up. And here is the second bush of the push pop ones. So again, I'm just going to be pushing those up. And I'm going to be cutting a long enough stem so that, you know, you can get it into the thing. And here I am gluing the stem. I like to put the glue on both sides just so I make sure there's enough. I think a glue pot would definitely be a lot easier. I've been wanting to get one, and whenever I order on Amazon, I always forget to order it, but I definitely want a glue pot. I think it'd be so much easier. But, you know, I have a hot glue gun, and that's what I'm going to use right now. So I'm going to keep adding those in there. I had originally posted this video, the pink ranunculus, in just to music, and I wasn't sure how it was going to go over. I wanted to try something new. So if you saw that with the video just to music, let me know what you thought of it. If you prefer talking videos, yeah, let me know. I want to make content that you're interested in. If you have any ideas for some wreaths you want to see or some swags, let me know. Maybe you want a video on how to ship a wreath or where to get wreath supplies. What kind of questions do you have? Or maybe you need help with, you know, tools that you need for making wreaths. I totally get that. Also, I think I didn't mention the grapevine that I'm using is an 18-inch. I got it at Micheals. I don't think the grapevines go on sale, but you might be able to get like a coupon or something for like a regular priced item with a certain percentage off. But I don't think I've ever seen the grapevines go on sale. If you have, let me know. So for this greenery, I am going on the inside of the wreath, like towards the side. You want to make sure you really cover all of, you know, like all the faces of the wreath. So not the bottom, you know, you're not going to see that. That's not where it goes, but like the inside of the wreath and then on top. And then you want to, you know, go around and see if there's any bare spots and just use that to fill it in. We are going to be adding a couple other items. So these ones are mini pink roses. They're so cute. I love them. I got these ones at Hobby Lobby. These ones come in so many colors. I love them. They are just absolutely adorable. So I'm going to be cutting off the stem. I'm going to leave them as like how that one has 3 pieces on it. I'm gonna leave it just like that. I'm not gonna separate it anymore because I think it looks cute like that. So I'm gonna be adding hot glue because we don't want it falling out. And this one, I am just going for it. I'm not pre-laying it out. I'm just going where I think they might look cute. So again, you know, if you glue it and it looks awful, just take it out, cut it out. You can always add a stem onto it, but I am adding one right near like the ribbon tail, like where we sank it down. So I'm going to keep adding those in, and I'm making sure that I scatter them pretty well. That I am doing, making sure that they're kind of evenly spaced out. And I'm using a second bush of these. These ones are really affordable. I think the ticket was like $2.99 or something, or $3.99, and then you can get them. Hobby Lobby's florals are like 40% off. So, and I love them. They're just so adorable. So I'm going to use 2 stems of those into this wreath. And if you used a smaller wreath frame, like if you used a 14-inch grapevine, you would definitely use a lot less supplies, but this was the frame that I had, so that's what I used. But I actually really like the size of the wreath that it created. I think it's just, I love it. It created a really nice large spring wreath. If you haven't already, please be sure to like this video, and if you would love to see more content, be sure to subscribe. I really appreciate you watching this video. And again, if you have any questions or comments, you can kindly ask in the comment section. I do my best to try to respond. I think there are some comments that don't get shown. I had gotten a notification that someone left a comment, and when I went to go comment back, the comment was gone. So I don't know if they deleted it or not, but if I don't, maybe that's what happened. So these next ones I got at Micheals. These are a pink lavender. These ones are also a push pop. So I'm going to be cutting them off. And this one I'm going to be cutting multiple stems. These are the ones where I'm going to be gluing the stem where I cut it just so it doesn't fall off. I think I did that off camera, but where you cut the stem, they may be loose, so you just want to add some glue on there. Oh, I do show you. Yeah, so right there, the connecting point is where I'm adding some glue. That way it doesn't fall off the stem. So I'm going to go ahead and do that onto all the ones that need it. But these pink lavenders are really beautiful. I actually got these on Micheals clearance. They were 85% off, or maybe 80, but I got them. I posted a video of it actually. I think that was like August or October, something like that. It was like in the fall, but I got these on clearance, so they were a really good deal, and I was like, oh my gosh, these are absolutely gorgeous for spring. I was so excited to use them. I couldn't wait to use them. So yeah, I'm just going in, cutting them. They really add a nice whimsy look to them. They just, you know, when the wind hits them, you see the movement of them. It adds really nice texture. They're really pretty. When I glue these in, I am doing the same method as in the beginning. I'm going inside, outside, and trying to evenly space them. Yeah, so I'm just making sure. I do add some on top as well, but I am primarily going inside, outside. There's quite a bit of these, so you can really add a lot in there. So with these ones, you can also create shorter pieces and longer pieces. So some of the shorter pieces I do like to leave for more the top, and then some of the longer pieces are nice for the outside edge. Here you can see because it really helps stick out, but you can get into the frame pretty well. So that's what I'm doing. I am trying to make sure that I get some on the outside. I did speed this part up for you. Here we have, these are pink dandelions. These ones are also from Micheals. I got these ones also on their 85% off. So I'm cutting a nice long stem on them, and I am cutting off those leaves because I don't want them. If you want them, you can add them, but I did not want those leaves, so I chopped them off. But these are so fun. I love the texture these give, and these ones I just love. I think these ones came in different colors too, but I'm not sure. I know the pink lavender definitely came in different color. I believe I'm using those in the blue peony wreath that I'm making after this, so make sure you stay to watch that. So again, I'm using lots and lots of hot glue, and I'm just going to be adding them in some of the bare spots. This one I didn't pre-lay out where I wanted them to go, But here we have the finished product. There's that dandelion, the ranunculus, and that wispiness. So thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I really hope this was helpful for you. Be sure to stay and finish watching that blue one. Are you team pink? Are you team blue? Do you like both? Ranunculus, peony? Thanks for watching. Today we are making a grapevine wreath, and I am using a 18-inch grapevine wreath. This is from Micheals, and I'm just going around the wreath frame using wire cutters, and I'm cleaning up anything that's loose or protruding out. Some people don't do this, it's a preference, but I prefer to do this. So I'm just gonna go around and clean it up. We're going to be using 3 types of greenery. I'm going to be using a lamb's ear. I believe this is a fern. I'm not really sure. And then I'm also going to be using this eucalyptus. Some of them they have the berries on them, so I'm going to lay those out first. I'm going to be using hot glue to make sure that it all stays together. I'm using Gorilla hot glue. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to focus on just the bottom part. I'm not going to do a full wreath. I'm just going to do kind of like a catty corner. So I think I'm going to start it here. Lost one. Here's what it looks like so far. I didn't add a lot, I just added 1. If I need to add more, I will. The next one I'm gonna add is the eucalyptus. So this one I'm also going to be separating. I really like the color variations, like the different shades of green. I think it adds a lot of interest to it. Here's what it looks like so far. I'm going to add the lamb's ear next. Here's what it's looking like with the lamb's ear. I really love how the lamb's ear looks with it. It just really added a really beautiful softness to it. Next, we're going to be adding in, I don't even know what these are. It says, oh, blue lavender. And if you didn't see, I got these at Micheals. They were on, I think, 70% off clearance or 75%. I just got them. And so I thought these would be really pretty with this wreath. So I'm going to go ahead and cut them up and then add them in. Okay, so we're gonna use the zip tie to go down between like the base, and then we can snip off the back side. Here's what it looks like with the bow. I do have some florals I want to add into it. I have 3 different florals I want to use. I have this one. It's like a rose or peony or ranunculus or something. I don't know. But I have a couple of these that I'm going to add in. And then I also have these ones. These are all from Micheals. Grab them now. They are 70% off, so you can get a really good deal. And I also have these. So since I have one right here, I think I'm just gonna go straight across to it and then put it right in here. I want to add more ribbon down here and maybe up there, so I just cut a piece of ribbon. I did fold in the edges, but with the edges folded in, it's about 22 inches. So I'm just going to fold it in half, and then maybe a little bit more or less than half. I'm going to bring it in, and then let's see. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do something like that. I'm just gonna use a pipe cleaner, or not a pipe cleaner, a zip tie to attach it down into it. So I just slipped the zip tie down and then brought it back up so that both sides are now up here, if you can see that. So I'm just gonna place this down into there and then zip tie it. That's what I did with the other one as well. All right, so that's what it looks like with that one added there, but I'm not sure if I want to add another one up here. I decided to change the bow. I just didn't like the black in it, and the bow was also too small. So I'm going to be adding this striped 2.5 inch ribbon. I got rid of the black, and then I'm going to add this cream 1.5 inch ribbon, but I'm going to keep this one, the French blue. I'm going to keep this one. I do want the tail to be longer, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of eyeball where I think I might want it, and I'm probably going to add a little bit extra just to be sure. So this is measuring at about a 12-inch tail right now. So I'm going to put it down into my easy bow maker, and I'm going to twist in the middle. And then for loop size, I think I'm gonna do a 6.5, and then we'll see how that looks. I'll do one on each side. This ribbon's really nice. It's so soft, and it's really thick too. And then I'm gonna pull up for a shorter tail. I think I'm gonna switch to a 6-inch loop. Next, we're gonna add the cream 1.5. I'm gonna go just a little bit shorter, about 1 inch shorter on the other tail, from the other tail, so about 11 inches. And then this one, I'm gonna do 2 loops at 5 inches, 2 loops on each side. So I actually had some tragedy in my life recently. My sweet dog passed away a couple weeks ago, and it has been very hard on me. He passed away suddenly, and things really are just not the same without him. I'm going to add the French blue. I'm going to go a little bit shorter from the cream one. And for this one, for the loop size, see, I did these ones at about 5. So I'm probably going to do these ones at about 4 inches. But yeah, it has been extremely hard on me. My dog was my entire world. I had him for a very long time. I'm not exactly sure how old he was. I know he was over 13 for sure. And, you know, he was just fine the day it happened. And when I say it happened suddenly, I mean within like an hour and 15 minutes of him being fine all day, not showing any symptoms of anything wrong, to him passing away in my car. So it's just been a difficult change for me. But yeah, it's been really hard to try to just get back into things and move forward. Okay, so for the blue one, I'm just gonna do 3 loops. And then I'm gonna bring the other tail up. And we'll see how that looks. I added a zip tie to the back, and I'm going to use the zip tie to attach the bow down into the grapevine. So I'm just going to go down between the leaves and then stick it through. And then I'm also going to try to bring it back up and around. Somewhere in here. Hold the phone. Okay, so once you've slipped it back up through the grapevine, you're gonna pull the zip tie. And then we'll fluff our bow out. Actually, I didn't see that I had more of these. I did want to add more of these ones. They're just like, I don't know what these are. Blue lavender. These have like a powder on them. And I can see it every time I cut them. I definitely need more in this area. And then I need some here. And I definitely need some like on the inside, and then probably right here. I'll glue some in. I do want to cut some of this up and put some into the bow. Next, I'm going to be adding these throughout the wreath. I don't have too many. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to scatter them throughout. And then I have these random little pieces that I'll probably put around the bow. Next, I'm going to be adding these. These are the same as the other ones, except these are white lavender.